Hello, and welcome back to the Berkeley at Home Variety Show. I'm Patrick Holmson. Yes, I did get myself a haircut. Thank you for noticing. On this week's episode, we'll learn how Cal football players are helping local kids avoid summer reading loss. We'll get an update on the Peregrine Falcons, and we'll see how far you can go without breaking that precious roll of toilet paper. I love hearing stories about how people are carrying on despite shelter in place. And a resilient group of students from the Department of Theater, Dance, and Performance Studies is doing just that. They have transformed their final show of the season from a stage production into an online audio play. With direction from guest artist Mina Morita of San Francisco's Crowded Fire Theater, the students have adapted the cuttingly smart satire Snowflakes or Rare White People by Dustin Chen. Inspired by the Hall of Asian Peoples at the American Museum of Natural History, the play cleverly explores American conceptions of race and ethnicity, representation, and the precariousness of social status.
Where have they gone, these great, pale herds? Most of us would agree that it began with the mass gluten purge of the 2010s and the great mayo contamination of 2048.
You can listen to a free audio recording of the play through May 10th. You'll find a link on the Berkeley at Home webpage. Now let's check in with our favorite Peregrine Falcons. And for that, we turn to our chief wildlife correspondent, Mike Durda. Mike?
Thanks, Patrick. You know I love wildlife of all kinds, like this unicorn here. But falcons are my absolute favorite. As any parent will tell you, raising kids isn't always sunshine and roses. Sometimes there's vomit. Sometimes there's poop. And you've got to find the beauty in these very natural parts of biological development. This week, the 3 falcon chicks' digestive systems have developed enough that they're processing undigestible material, like these starling feathers. Birds of prey swallow bones and feathers and gather them up in a pellet in their stomach that they regurgitate later. Delightful. Along with that, here's another interesting adaptation: projectile pooping. All falcons projectile poop to keep their excrement from building up right in the middle of the nest, where the chicks are spending their time. It does, however, result in a lot of mess everywhere else. Ah, child rearing, so wondrous and majestic. A final update this week is that the birds are starting to develop flight feathers, which look like thin, grayish-blue pins, and are beginning to flap their tiny wings. They won't actually take to the skies until late May or early June. Tune in next week as Falcon Watch 2020 continues. Back to you, Patrick.
Last week, we invited you to participate in a virtual scavenger hunt and identify campus landmarks. It's clear our viewers know this campus very well. 2 staff members rose above their peers with perfect scores. Congratulations to Kathleen Areda, a data systems analyst in university development and alumni relations, and James Dudek, a senior organizational strategist in people and culture. Kathleen and James are both Berkeley alumni and long-term staff members, having worked for the university for 26 and 30 years respectively. You can find a link to this week's scavenger hunt on the Berkeley at Home webpage, and maybe you too can be famous. Former Cal running back Patrick Laird started the Cal Summer Reading Challenge in 2018 to encourage local students to continue reading over the summer. When Laird moved on to the Miami Dolphins, offensive linemen Mike Safel and Henry Bazakis took over the challenge.
You know, when I first took over the challenge, I saw it kind of as maybe a community service opportunity for myself. And then, you know, as I went on and I really connected with the kids and saw their passion and saw how, you know, there are kids in the Bay Area where, you know, they don't have access to books or parents are not pushing them every day to read. And I'm from Orange County, you know, coming from a wealthy area. So I think with someone like that, it's so easy to say, you know, this is not my problem. This is not something that affects me. But truly it is, you know, it affects everyone when these kids don't have the opportunity to, you know, have even access to books. You know, we did some book fairs, book drives where we gave away books and kids were, you know, had astonished looks on their faces that we were giving away free books because they haven't had access to it in their life. So, you know, after last year, I gained a huge passion for it and connecting with those kids and realizing the actual impact we were making. And that's what makes it so cool for this year. And essentially what they do is, depending on grade level, they'll read 4 to 6 books over the summer. And then they'll get access to 2 free tickets to our game on September 12th against Cal Poly SLO. it's kind of a twofold project, getting them to read and then making them Cal football fans at the same time, which is really cool. And, just leveraging the platforms that we have access to in order to encourage these kids. And then, when they are there on game day, that's the best feeling ever. And it just shows, the hard work on both ends, their end and my end, getting them there. And then I think the coolest thing is the athletic department brought this idea to us is getting Cal athletes to actually read books in their entirety online. So kids in the Bay Area who maybe don't have access to those books right now, or don't have someone reading to them at home, they'll have a Cal athlete reading books into their entirety. Kids these days, I'm saying books, and I'm like, Chronicles of Narnia, you guys know? And they're like, what are you even talking about, man? Like, we have no idea. So it's pretty funny. I'm like, Magic Treehouse, you guys still? It makes me feel like I was in elementary school 45 years ago.
We asked some graduating seniors to reflect back on their time at UC Berkeley. Here's what Luke Birdsong had to say.
Hi everybody. Berkeley has changed me so much over the past 4 years, and I have grown so much personally, professionally, and academically as a result. I've had the opportunities to take classes in everything from sociology to biology, and I've had the chance to have internships both at home in Maryland and also here in California, as well as tons of opportunities on campus to get involved, both as a campus ambassador and also on a bunch of clubs that I'm a part of on campus. I'm also so thankful for all of the personal growth that I've had and experiences that I've been able to take advantage of through attending football games or going to concerts around the Bay Area to hiking in the Berkeley Hills. I love my time at Berkeley, and even though it's ending this way, I couldn't be happier with my experience here.
And now for another installment of our segment, Remember When. The Greek Theater bonfire held the night before the big game has been a tradition at UC Berkeley for over 100 years. But after drought and high winds canceled the bonfire in 2015 and again in 2018, the campus's rally committee debuted a pyrotechnic version of the bonfire last year. This week we remember when the bonfire was created by stacking wooden pallets and setting them afire to create flames that rose 4 stories high. We leave you with a short film by University Development and Alumni Relations' Amy Cranch. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week.